So the songs for this record started out how songs always start for us with either me and Errick kicking around an idea. We had a much longer process for this. It was an extended process. We took a lot longer to write, and we took a lot longer to arrange everything together as a band.
Up until the new record, we've really worked on everything, just Chase and I pretty much, and then we bring it to the rest of the band. We all work on it. With Dark Superstition, we've been opening up, trying to work with everyone, and so we've altered the process a bit. We have, Alex is like a brilliant songwriter and really good at that stuff, and a really talented bass player and guitar player, and he can play drums, so he definitely knows what he's doing. So we've incorporated his ideas. Izzy is a shredder, and Izzy's has really cool ideas too, so we're bringing everyone in together, working with Matt and writing, and he had some ideas for songs for guitar stuff, and we messed around with things. So we're trying to be more inclusive as a band writing.
By the end of 2022, we had finished our last US tour, and we started working on the record and hunkering down. By that point, I was starting to hear final versions of the songs, and we started getting together regularly to practice and workshop these songs. Just something in the past we hadn't always had a lot of time to do, but it was nice to be able to be in the room playing the songs together and work out different things.
Once we had the songs mostly written, and we started playing them together and tightening them up and changing some arrangements, and we spent several months doing that. And at that point, Fred came and gave us thumbs up, thumbs down, or had some suggestions for us.
We have gone through every song meticulously together, and they've let me have my ideas and my input straight through all the songs, which has been a lot of fun. If I have an idea, the band has listened to it and then came with further ideas, so we're kind of feeding off of each other when we're bouncing the ideas back and forth.
Having his perspective, I feel, was really valuable and just made perfect sense, especially for what we're doing right now in this stage of the band, exploring a lot of new things and different influences in certain songs that work really well with the type of musician he is and the type of songwriter that he is.
I mean, he's like the guy that invented this genre that we're doing. One of the founding fathers of Swedish death metal. So seeing him dissect the songs that we had and being able to work on arrangements with him, getting his ideas was just huge honor, super cool to work with him. Having a legend's perspective on our creative process was incredible.
We already had demos, GarageBand demos for all the songs, but we ended up doing the full album demoed with Rippy, and that was the first time we've ever done that as demo before we've gone into the studio.
I was a part of the pre-production demo process, which everybody took very seriously, which is nice. The band had done demos beforehand on their own, and then they came in here and we fleshed out some more realistic demos. Kind of started the record here, I guess, for Kurt in Salem.
Hi, I'm Kurt Ballou. We're here at my studio called God City that I've been at since 2003. I've been making records mostly in the metal, punk, and hardcore genres since the mid-90s. On this record, I am doing a lot of the audio production, from tracking drums to tracking guitars and bass, as well as mixing. On some of the previous ones I just mixed, but on this one I'm contributing a lot more, and I'm really excited about it. So they came in, they knew exactly what they wanted, they knew exactly how to do it. They had Pro Tools sessions with demo tracks in them already. It just really made my life easy. So I just focused on getting killer tones and killer performances.
God City, we did fairly simple setups. We did one head, one cab, and I liked that a lot. Yeah, we just try to emulate as close as we can to what we do live in the studio within the, like the frame of trying to make it sound as best as you can in a certain room. So I feel like we did that.
They're a pretty self-contained band. They know what they want. They have great self-direction and don't really need a ton of guidance from the outside. So I think it's important for a producer to know when they're not needed. It's not that I'm not needed, but it's not like I'm not needed as heavily as I'm needed on some other projects.
We spent hours like messing with tones. Even if we found something that sounded sick and that we all loved, he was like, cool, well, we're about to try out 20 more heads. Like, it never stopped. He strove for perfection.
I think there's a lot of engineers out there, particularly in like metal worlds, that have kind of a boilerplate template for how they do things. For me, the thing that I do the same way every time is I always listen to the songs, listen to the source, listen to the people I'm working with, and try to choose equipment and techniques that are the best tools for the job. And those things are not the same every time. So I know there are engineers who are like, oh, I use this for guitars, and I don't have that. What I have is for guitars is what I do is I line up 4 or 5 cabinets and 4 to 10 heads, and we try every that many pedals as well. We try every combination of things until we find a sound that we collectively think suits the record.
We recorded everything, all the instruments with Kurt, but I didn't do my vocals there. Yeah, I just wanted to have more time to really nail all the vocals on it. And so I decided to go back with Rippy, who we had demoed everything with, and do the vocals with Rippy. It was a lot closer to me. I could go there every other day or whatever I needed to do. So me and Rippy definitely spent several weeks together messing with things and trying different things out until we got everything that we needed to.
Chase was very particular with how he wanted all of the vocal inflections, especially stuff in and out of choruses. So for about 2 to 3 weeks we laid down vocals in this room, mainly just me and him, sometimes with some other members of the band. In the middle of when we were laying it down, Ben, who he had done some of the vocal pre-pro with, came back out to hear the actual product and the actual progress on the real record.
My role for this record is a little mysterious, I gotta say. I've kind of been brought in as maybe kind of a vocal specialist, I suppose. Chase was curious to kind of collaborate a little bit with someone who is very focused on flow and syllable rhythms for this type of music, whether it's hardcore, metal, or any rap, anything. That has making flows interesting and not just kind of spitting the same shit over and over it. So I guess that would be my role, and vocal vibe specialist, I suppose you would call it.
Ben came and visited for a weekend in Phoenix, and we sat on my couch and we just went through all the songs that at that point were already written and arranged instrumentally for the most part. So we were just writing vocal rhythms and really focusing on making them a lot more memorable.
I think that was pretty fucking good, brother.
And with Rippy is where we also added a bunch of extra, we did a lot of percussion. There's tambourines and shakers and cowbell, and there's parts where we're just found pieces of metal and we're banging on it.
We did some keyboards, drums, shakers, that kind of stuff. If Kurt made this stew, we were adding the seasonings here.
something for everybody on the record, and I hope that whoever has a chance to listen to the record has a chance to listen to it all the way through, because we took a lot of time. There's a lot of thought put into the track listing and the different types of songs that are on there, and I think that there's a lot of different styles on there, a wide range of different types of songs that are on there. If you're listening to it and you don't like the first couple songs, if you keep listening, there might be something that you'll enjoy somewhere in there, because I think we cover a lot of ground.
This is the next step that they had to step up to, and they have done so. And I think people are gonna love this album because it grabs you by the throat. It's really, really brutal, but it still has so many melodies and hooks that you just can't unsee.
I really hope that some of the newer and spicier elements that have been added into the mix attract some new people, whether people who are coming from different corners of extreme metal or just broader metal as a whole. I think there really is something for a lot of different types of listeners out there.
You see like documentaries with like Def Leppard or something like that, and they talk about like writing songs that play to the people in the back of the room. And I feel like that's what these songs do. I feel like the earlier material, like especially the last EP, like that stuff is songs for the people in the front row. These are songs for people in the front row and for people in the back row. That's an interesting evolution for this band, because I think a lot of bands are always they're like in a competition to be like, just write the nastiest riffs. Who can play the fastest, who can play the slowest, who can play the lowest, like who can play like the heaviest or whatever that is. But whenever you're in a competition, if you want to stand out, the best thing to do is just play a different game. Like stop competing with people in the game that they're playing and do something different. And I think that's what's happened with this record, is Gatecreeper have stepped into a direction that is outside of what their peers are doing, and I think that is going to make this project really unique.
This is the record that we wanted to make, so we were lucky to work with a lot of people who we had our sights set on to get involved with it, and I think we had a really good team to help us achieve all the things that we wanted to do, and I think that we were able to achieve what we set out to do, was just make an elevated Gatecreeper record and have it still sound like Gatecreeper, but push us to a new heights, and hopefully be the beginning of a new era for the band.